So, Senator Adams Oshiomhole has publicly and sharply criticized Minister of Works, Senator Dave Umahi, over what he called the privatization of new road projects, while existing federal highways, particularly in Edo and Delta States, remain in deplorable condition.
More that I've had, I think the Federal Minister of Works need to be guided. Because whereas we have all these old roads that are in bad shape, he proposes the construction of new roads when existing roads are not there. Because 3 weeks ago, I understand 20 new roads were approved. Yet, sir, between Edo and Delta, there is manifest bias by the Minister of Works. You cannot go to Warri, and you are here, Senator Dafinoni. You can't go to Warri from Benin. You can't go to Asaba from Benin. You can't go to Auchi from Benin. You can't go from Auchi to Okene from Benin. What have we done wrong? I think the minister has shown consistently there is no federal allocation. It is Mr. President goodwill. Mr. President goodwill that he directed that they should use tax credit to deal with part of this section. Otherwise, all the budget over the past 3 years, in spite of the first motion under your leadership that was moved to draw his attention, the Federal Minister of Works has failed deliberately to include that portion bordering Delta and Edo in the national budget. So I plead with you to urge him to be more balanced and have national overview of his responsibilities. Thank you, Mr. President.
On July 24, 2026, during Senate plenary, Senator Adams Oshiomhole, who is representing Edo North Senatorial District, raised the issue, urging the Senate to intervene. He directly targeted or blasted the Minister of Works, Senator Dave Umahi. I quote, he said, I quote, "The Federal Minister of Works needs to be guided, whereas we have many existing roads that are in terrible condition. New roads are being proposed when the existing ones have not been properly addressed. Just 3 weeks ago, about 20 new roads were approved." He listed specific failing routes in the south region. Yet, sir, between Edo, I quote him, he said, "Yet, sir, between Edo and Delta States, there is a manifest bias in the actions of the Minister of Works. You cannot travel from Benin to Warri, you cannot travel from Benin to Asaba, you cannot travel from Benin to Auchi, and you cannot travel from Auchi to Okene without encountering serious challenges. What have we done wrong?" Senator Adams Oshiomhole also accused Minister of Works Dave Umahi of deliberate neglect and bias. He said, I quote, "I believe the minister has consistently demonstrated that there is no federal allocation for these critical roads. It is only through Mr. President's goodwill that he directed the use of tax credits to address part of this section. Otherwise, in the budgets of the past 3 years, despite the first motion moved under your leadership to draw the minister's attention to the matter, the Federal Minister of Works has deliberately failed to include the portions bordering Edo and Delta States in the national budget." He concluded by pleading with the Senate President to intervene. He said, "Therefore, I plead with you to urge the minister to be more balanced and to adopt a truly national outlook in carrying out his responsibilities." Well, we are still waiting for the response of the Minister of Works, Senator Dave Umahi, and I know it's going to be brutal. Senator Adams Oshiomhole is, carrying out his duties as he's representing the people of Edo North so well. Not just Edo North, even on this issue, he's representing the people of Edo, the people of Delta, and the likes. If you look at the issue that Senator Adams Oshiomhole raised, in a wonderful approach, you see that the man makes much sense. This is one of the issues or topics that Senator Adams Oshiomhole will raise at the House of Senate that I am 100% in support of him. Some of us that travels most of the times from Abuja to East, from Abuja to Kogi State, to Delta State, to Benin, Edo State, you see that the roads are deplorable. And time after time, right from the time of Buhari, roads are being constructed, and all attention is directed to the north. If it is not from Kaduna to Abuja, it will be from Ibadan to Lagos. I mean, these areas are neglected. I don't know what needs to be done to address these deplorable issues. So the senator will raise the wonderful motion, and I believe that the Minister of Works will respond very well and not to turn it into politics. Now, it's not P2B versus Dave Umahi. It's not the Labour Party versus APC. It's not PDP versus APC. It's not ADC or NDC. It's APC versus APC. For Adams Oshiomhole to raise this, it means that the minister needs to review his strategies or whatever thing he's doing. He needs to look at these roads because power doesn't last forever. Tomorrow he'll be out of office. And these are the routes from Abuja that his people, his Ebonyi people, fly through to Ebonyi State. You know? So he needs to look at these issues that have been raised. You can Rotimi Kamechi was Minister of Transportation, Minister of Transport, and with him and Buhari, they constructed a railway down to Niger Republic, if I'm not mistaken. But there is no railway to River State as of today. No one. If they are building it, I don't know if it has been properly inaugurated and whatever, or commissioned rather. So you need to do things that will also benefit you as the minister and your people. So Senator Adams Oshiomhole is not just speaking for the people of Delta State or the people of Edo State. He's also speaking for the people of Dave Umahi's Ebonyi State, people of Imo State, all these places, because the roads of Benin to Warri is deplorable. It's so bad and needs fixing. So the senator is asking, why will you award new projects? New road projects, when the old road are so bad? It needs to be fixed. It needs to be put in good shape. Or maybe just to give a new name to the president, just like what we are seeing in Abia State. Alex Oti is working, fixing the road. Then one useless governor raises one former useless governor raises ugly head. I commissioned those roads. What did you commission? You commissioned a road that did not last up to 4 years, up to 8 years. You stayed in office. Is that one road? It was better when they build the road, they will give you sometimes 50 years or 100 years for that road to have issue. But now we see roads commissioned within 2 years. Within 1 year, you already see potholes. That was why P2B went to the coastal road. Say, look at the coastal road. We are already seeing holes at the coastal road. And they believe it's political. Now it's APC versus APC. So it is not time for Nigerians to now believe that maybe the Minister of Works somehow is biased in his projects and in his awarding of projects. Go and award projects in these areas. Do you know how many people fly through that Benin road, Warri road, every day? And now that it's rainy season, if you are not lucky enough and then you are held by traffic in that road, you spend hours there because the roads are bad, cars are breaking down. So the Minister of Works need to respond to this call, or this call out, and he needs to be civil. He's not politics. I'm glad it's not between him and ADC candidate or NDC candidate. It's between him and APC. So we're waiting for his reply.